In a small town of New Jersey, Karen and Kyle live in a rundown house. They are struggling in many aspects of life. The morale is low as bills are piling up. Kyle decides to go to a local antique shop to buy Karen a gift in order to cheer her up. The antique store has a quaint appearance, but in reality, the store owner is evil and targets his customers. Kyle picks out a pair of red glasses for Karen. As Kyle is leaving the store, the evil store owner smirks as his plan comes into fruition. At home, Kyle gives Karen the glasses. As she puts on the glasses, her worldview shifts and everything becomes brighter and thoughts of her troubles dissipate. With the glasses on, Karen loses her perspective on her current living situation and starts to spiral out of control. She ends up going on a shopping spree at Gucci and getting them in even more debt. Karen comes home and sees Kyle sleeping on the couch. As Karen is cuddling with Kyle on the couch, she feels a mysterious liquid. At first, she does not realize what it is, but then she realizes it's blood. The evil store owner appears in the window. In a state of shock, she takes off the glasses and sees her actual reality. At first, she is in denial and keeps putting on and taking off the glasses. Karen eventually takes off and smashes the glasses after she realizes she cannot live in an unrealistic world. After some time, Karen learns to accept her circumstances after her downward spiral with the glasses and eventually lives happily ever after.
We presented our twisted fairy tale by translating our storyboard images to an actual theater stage. The decision to make our story a stage production guided my choices as the scenic designer. To start, I created ground plans for the 3 locations to get a sense of the different items and layouts of the scenes. Then I created 3D computer-generated models, and finally I adapted the layouts to be put on the stage. The first and main location is Karen and Kyle's living room. There needed to be 2 different sets of the living room, one for the beginning and one for the end. In addition, throughout the story, small props in the living room were changed to symbolize Karen's progression. For example, when she puts on the glasses, the pillow changes to be brighter, happier pattern, and the bills are gone from the table. The second location is the antique store. The main color scheme for this set is dark wood and reds, to symbolize that is the antagonist layer. I added lots of different props to represent different items one might find and buy in an antique store. The last location is Gucci. This is a brief scene, so I decided to make this set be a backdrop where Karen can be shown walking out of the store with lots of shopping bags. In the middle of the stage, we decided to add a window to act as a light source throughout the story. We would have the window be see-through so light can shine through it and the evil store owner can be seen through the window after he kills Kyle.
When planning the lighting designs for this production, it was very important for me to create designs that emphasize the inner emotion of the characters, to show the audience that everything is not what it appears to be, and contrast Karen's reality with the imaginary world of the glasses. I began by doing extensive research on how lighting designers use colors to light a scene. Once I found my inspiration, I created the final color illustrations and then recreated these illustrations onto the stage. To contrast between Karen's reality and her illusion, I decided to use cool colors to represent her reality and warm colors to represent the world of the glasses. During my research, I discovered cool colors, specifically blue gels, helped create a dark and depressive atmosphere. When Kara is not wearing the glasses, she is the embodiment of the blue gels. She hates her life and wants to escape her sad and miserable life. I also began associating Kyle's presence with the blue gels, because he's a part of Karen's reality, not her fantasy. Therefore, when Kyle is dead, he is surrounded by warm-colored lights to indicate something is wrong. After all, Kyle is not a part of this fantasy world, so why is he suddenly embodied in these warm colors? I decided to use warm colors to represent the world of glasses because the bright amber, yellow, and red gels establish an atmosphere filled with hope and happiness. The inclusion of red also ties the glasses back to the antagonist. Since the antagonist is constantly associated with the color red, I decided to light his scene in red and angle the lights to create multiple harsh shadows. This helped create a creepy and unsettling atmosphere, which is who the antagonist really is, even though he appears like a nice, friendly store owner. For the final scene, I decided to use warm and cool colors to illustrate that Karen is finally learning to accept reality, is trying to move on from the events that presided, and is trying to make a new life for herself.
As costume designer, not only did I have to keep in mind the fact that my designs were to be used in a theater production rather than film, I also had to remember 3 main aspects. The first being color theory, second, shape theory, and the third, overall motivation of each character. So for Karen, her outfit progression goes from a gray to a red to a pink. And so for the gray, there was a stripe of pink because even though with the dullness in her life, she still has hope for a brighter tomorrow. And with the red dress, she has a fiery passion and a new love for her new life after she puts on the red glasses that come with it. And finally, with the third costume, her pink one shows her new care and love for her new life, and it's understanding that she has a lot to work on. For Kyle, his outfit stayed relatively dull because he's a dull character and is only in 2 scenes. So I kept him in neutrals because of his boring nature. And finally, with the shop owner, he is in red because his red stands for anger in a devilish form. And so for shape theory, of course, Karen kept with the circular because that is the most feminine, and with squares is Kyle because once again he is boring. And with triangles, it goes with the aspect of fear and suspicion and mystery, and that perfectly describes the shop owner.
Our twisted fairy tale setting had me think a lot about the sounds for this piece. We decided to go with a modern feel to our story, so I spent some time researching and writing down my ideas about the sounds one would associate with certain scenes. For our main scene, it is Kyle and Karen's house. We put these characters in a big city, but living in a poorer section with an old rundown house. I spent some time thinking about what kind of noises one could hear in this type of situation. I came up with a few simple sounds one can associate with this scene. For example, creaky floorboards, dripping water pipes, uneasy drafts, and some common city sounds that one might hear in like a cityscape, like honking cars, people talking, walking by, that kind of stuff. These are just some of the sounds I came up with that could help emphasize some feelings during our show. They help add some atmosphere to the whole thing along with lighting to bring the piece together.